Well, I had my operation at Southampton General Hospital, and I was very impressed by the way the whole day was arranged. I was in hospital only for one night, but the staff were very good. I was completely deaf at that time, and they were very careful to make sure I understood exactly what was going on. They wrote down things for me, and I would say helped in all sorts of ways to minimise the stress and upset of the operation. They were all very kind and very thorough.
With the operation, I actually had mine at the Wessex Nuffield in Chandler's Ford, and I found very, very efficient. I was told to turn up at the hospital at midday on the particular day of the operation, with the operation planned for 1:30. So I turned up, saw the surgeon, Mr. Mitchell, saw the anaesthetist. About 1:45, I walked down to theatre. 2:00, I think I was probably out of it completely. And by 5:00, I was out in the recovery and back up into the ward.
I had my operation at Queen Alexandra in June 2011. The operation itself, in the run-up, I was very nervous, but my surgeon, Ms. Pringle, put me at ease. But immediately after the surgery, I was very sore, I was very nervous. The staff were excellent, right down to the nurse staff, to the catering staff, to everybody. But I would say it was the first 24 hours that I was a bit more disoriented. It took me a while just to get my balance.
I had my implant at Southampton General Hospital, and I remember I stayed for 2 days, so that's the day of the surgery, and then I stayed for another day, and then I was discharged.
It's just an overnight stay in hospital, back home the next day.
I went to the Nuffield at Eastleigh. I was admitted at midday one day, and I was home by midday the next day. I did take a photograph of myself in the morning after I'd had my operation and was horrified. I had an enormous bandage on my right ear, and then the bandage was extended around my head. But when the specialist came round and examined everything, the bandages came off, and all I had was a small dressing over the ear.
After I woke up from the operation, I was feeling that my head was heavy and a little bit of soreness behind my ear, but that was all. And I think that probably lasted for maybe a couple of days, 5 days, I'd say. But then after that, it was getting much better.
I was quite surprised how quick it was. And I came round and I was quite surprised to see a turban, big bandage, like a turban on my head. And when that came off after a day, I stayed in overnight, just a quick 24 hours visit, and came round and I just had a few stitches around the ear and everything. And it's a bit bad, you can't wash your hair for about a week, because you've got to keep the stitches and stuff dry, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I was quite surprised how quick it was. No problems at all.
Waking up with a huge turban-like bandage on my head was a little bit strange, but not uncomfortable. And that bandage comes off as soon as they've taken an X-ray to check that the implant is in its correct position. So you're only really in hospital for the best part of a day, and off you go. I'd just wait for everything to heal up. I had a little bit of wooziness following the anaesthetic, and I think the side of my head was a little bit sore where the implant had gone in, but as soon as the swelling goes down, really, it's pretty painless all the way through. And they give you plenty of paracetamol to dull the aches and pains anyway. It really didn't take long to recover from that. I was slightly woozy, I think, for a day or two if I stood up quickly, but that wore off very quickly, and I think that was the anaesthetic.
I did suffer a little bit of tinnitus after my implant, but it only lasted for about a month.
After the operation, I just feel very dizzy. I do suffer with dizziness anyway. I was dizzy before, but it was quite a lot worse. And that really went on for quite a few weeks. And in the time between the operation and the switch on, which was 6 weeks, the dizziness was quite bad, and I didn't go back to work until after I had the switch on, partly because I wasn't feeling up to it, but also because I only hear in one ear. I was in a silent world during that period, and so I didn't really want to go and mix with people at work and things like that.
The stitches are self-dissolving, so no problem there. The wound healed up completely after 2.5 weeks, and then I could wash my hair.